What is up, everybody? Tuberversity today, and we have to talk about these people spreading misinformation. Apparently, the Activision Blizzard King acquisition hit these Sony fanboys hard because there is a big rumor floating out on the internet that apparently Sony is going to acquire Bandai Namco. Now, the source of this rumor is coming from this guy whose bio is pretty impressive. It says he worked as a game developer for Ben Studios, Deviation Games, and Ember Labs. But I don't know if this is honestly true or not, because you would think with this kind of credibility, he was a game developer, he would know what he's talking about, right? But these statements don't make any sense. Like, apparently the next acquisition from Sony is going to be Bandai Namco. It doesn't make any sense. Now, if you don't know who Bandai Namco is, that is the publisher behind popular games like Elden Ring, the big anime-style fighting games like the Naruto series, Jujutsu Kaisen, Tekken 8 is another big one. Any type of anime game you can think of as like a fighting game, they're pretty much a publisher behind it. The Dark Souls games, the Digimon games, all the anime stuff, they're the people usually behind it. So that'd be a big acquisition right there. Almost I wouldn't say the equivalent, but pretty close to Activision Blizzard with this acquisition right there. They own a lot of anime IPs and all stuff like that. The Dark Souls, Elden Rings, the big IPs like that. So who knows? But people have said that, hey, I feel bad for small accounts like this in the game community. They try to make a name for themselves, trying to pretend to be insiders that know Sony's dealings, when everyone at this point knows there's no such thing as a Sony insider. He's already made claims earlier this month that have yet come to fruition. So they dug up some receipts on this guy. And apparently, this guy's just been lying his ass off consistently. I just don't get that. Why do these guys just spread misinformation and it's just cool to spread misinformation? Apparently, so this is an earlier rumor that he says is going to happen. Breaking news. Sony Pictures will be buying the rights to films and series for Konami IPs, Castlevania, Metal Gear, and Silent Hill. I'm not sure this can involve gaming as well. Now, we know they got like Silent Hill exclusive. Silent Hill 2 is coming out. I didn't hear anything about Castlevania or whatever, but this hasn't happened. Like they didn't buy any exclusive film rights, so this didn't happen. There's more. There was another one as well, Sam. Sony intended to accept the agreement to purchase Activision Blizzard. For certain conversations that took place in August 2022 made Sony Jeremiah change his mind. Now, we know that didn't happen. Sony doesn't have the money to buy Activision Blizzard. That's a lot of money that Microsoft paid for that company, so we know that didn't happen. But it's just the fact that people just literally just spread misinformation on the internet. Like, this is just crazy. Like, who lies about this? Sony acquiring Bandai Namco? Like, that's crazy. So, let's see. Sony is not buying Namco. There are only two publishers which would interest Sony, Square Enix or Capcom. Second, won't so because owned by a family. So stays only Square Enix, which is the most likely to happen. We will see. Acquisitions don't leak. You think Sony has a $20 billion to spend buying Bandai Namco? Are you high? And is that going to ignore the clear market leader clocking down a big publisher? You think Microsoft got crapped on and they're in third place? Sony will be put through the ringer. Yeah, it's like, just imagine if this did happen. So let's just say this guy is accurate. He's right. It does happen. Are they gonna get any scrutiny as well? Because that's a big publisher. Bandai Namco is a huge publisher. They make all these different popular games like this. It's like you can't be angry at Microsoft buying these big publishers, but not be angry at Sony as well. So, but like I said before, I don't think this has happened. I think this guy is full of BS and just wants to spread misinformation on the internet. I wouldn't believe you even if you told me the sky is blue. Avoid reading all of that. It's not happening. Have a good day. No way. Now, it was one point that he did make that you kind of think he might be right, because Sony just had millions of data leaked. They were just hacked recently, so they could have had that data leaked, and this was one of the leaked documents that happened. But I still don't believe this guy. That's like still a pretty big acquisition. I don't think Sony's gonna do. And all people talk about console consolidation. I was like, if Sony acquires Namco Bandai. That would be a lot of console consolidation right there, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Nintendo owns a chunk of Bandai Namco. They won't sell their shares to Sony, so it would have to be a hostile takeover. Go away. We don't accept fake news here. My source is that I made it up. I think this is a pretty accurate summary. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Them acquiring a big studio like that, a big publisher like that. So, buy Namco Bandai while having a 98% share in Japan over Xbox and the Sony created a high-performance console market out of the resistance. They put up with Activision while simultaneously owning Crunchyroll, Aniplex, and Funimation. When Namco makes, yeah, that would be kind of crazy. And this would be a legit monopoly if Sony did own Bandai Namco, because once again they own Crunchyroll, Aniplex, Funimation, and all Bandai Namco pretty much makes is anime games. So they pretty much got a pretty much a monopoly on these anime-based TV shows, movies, and games as well. So I don't think that's gonna happen. Give it up. Sony does not have the money to compete with Microsoft. You will continue to get nothing and like it. This will never happen. Bandai would never accept being sold by any company. They are in great shape, just like Capcom. Okay. Sony has done layoffs and cutting costs to still pay for Bungie. They don't got that much to throw around like that. Yeah, I don't think Sony has this big money as people think they do. They aren't Microsoft. It's like they're confusing Sony with Microsoft. Microsoft can buy these big studios because they make a lot of money, but Sony not the same position. So yeah, I'll just say anything on this app. And the thing is that people, I think, how many likes does this tweet originally get? This tweet has 989 likes, excuse me. So people are just liking this thing up, believing that this thing is true, but where are the facts to prove this? How do we know this guy's even a developer? You could be anybody on the internet, so I don't know. It just seems real crazy that this is actually true. And the fact that people could possibly just spread misinformation like this, people believe it, it's just scary. It's just wild to me. Bro, you guys are desperate, yeah. Source is just trust me, bro. Why are you lying to the people, bro? That is just creepy. Like, who just lies like that? Like, you need to get that checked if you're just lying on this grand of a scale about this. Like, this is crazy. You got a big game coming out next week. You got Spider-Man 2 coming out. Why do you need to make up information to make your side look better? It's just weird activity. Like, purposely just lying on the internet to people. Drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. Pretty much saying this guy got to be high or on some type of substance to believe this is actually going to happen. This is just pathetic. Well, that was a bunch of nothing. Nintendo is one of Bandai Namco's biggest shareholders. I don't see them letting this go through. Yeah, so it's like another reason why this wouldn't go through. This will trigger a lot of Xbox fans. I'm not triggered by this. I just think it just won't happen. It just doesn't make sense that it would happen. And if it did, then people can't complain about these companies. You can't complain about monopolies or consolidation at this point. So, and though Sony stands are now living in a dream world, yeah, they're getting into crazy talk territory at this point. Like, this is just bizarre. Like, yeah. The source is trust me, bro. I think that was a good summary to end this video at. I was like, obviously this guy just pulled this BS out of his behind at this point. Like, who actually believes this? But yeah, this thing was floating around the internet for a while. It got a lot of attention. The fact that 993 people now have liked this. Almost close to 1,000 people believe this nonsense. It's just insane. Like, once again, we don't even know if this guy is even truly a developer or what. So I don't know. It just seems like people. It's just crazy. People could just spread misinformation like this and just go about their day. And people believe this nonsense. Not one source cited or anything, but you know, that is the internet for you. So I'm gonna include it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like this video. As always, thanks for watching and peace.